Today I'm going to take you through a less common block drill. Now most people when they do handstand blocks for the first time, they'll play with the block climbing. So basically with that one you keep your hand position, your shoulder position static, and then you climb down by moving the block out the way, and then you climb back up the block like that. So your hands and shoulders basically stay in this plane of movement. The other movements you can use with the blocks is you can go lateral, so you go to the side. Now most people when they do a sideways one, they'll do something like this, and then they'll move from one block to the next and go across and then back over the other side. Now the slightly harder version, but the one you could argue is a little bit better for you from learning the one-arm handstand point of view, is starting on the floor and then climbing up and down across the blocks as you move to the side. So let's just focus on 2 blocks to start with. So if you haven't done this one before, I would start on the floor in this position. So the first thing that's going to happen is you want to start loading the working arm. So I'm going to start with my good side first. So it's the best way to learn it is to start with your good side, show the bad side what to do, and then practice it on the other side. So I'm going to start in this position. I'm going to look across to this hand. I'm going to try and load this hand with more weight. Now most people will go into a flag to do this. So flag meaning that I come like this with my legs. So I'm going to come across. Ideally my sacrum is going to stack on top of my shoulder, which will be stacked on top of my elbow, which is stacked on my hand. In reality, it might be a little bit off, and that will just mean that you're not going to feel so light in that hand. Now, if you're new to this, it's going to be a bit dodgy and a bit sketchy, so think of this as more play to start with than actually good training towards the one-arm handstand, but it's a good thing to play with. If you are on the one-arm handstand journey, think of it a little bit different, and we want to hit the perfect positions each time. So what we're going to do is we're going to load that hand by flagging across to one side first. So you'll be in this straddle position, you flag across. I've put more weight into this right hand. Now you see I've come up onto fingertips now. What I'm trying to do now is not let this elbow or shoulder go too far this way. If it does, you can see already I'm going to fall and collapse that way. So practice this on your hands and knees first just to get the positioning correct. So I'm here, I'm going to go up onto fingertips as I flag across. I'm transferring more weight to this right hand while keeping the elbow and shoulder in place. So I'm pushing the elbow and shoulder this way, even though I've taken some weight this way. I'm going to go up onto fingertips. Now when I go up onto fingertips, I'm going to try not to lift this left shoulder. If I lift the left shoulder, it's going to do the same thing, and it's going to take me over that direction, and I'm going to fall out or rotate out. So up onto fingertips while keeping the right elbow, right shoulder in, and then I'm going to move across to this block. It'll probably happen quite fast to start with. Now once I feel good on there, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to transfer weight across to the left side, trying to get the left shoulder now on top of the left hand and not letting it collapse this way, so pushing in as I do that movement, so pushing this elbow in. Now because I have to work from a deficit, this hand is lower, I'm going to go up onto fingertips, try and get on top so everything's in line, so shoulders are now in line because I'm on fingertips. Don't take the shoulder higher, remember, because we'll fall out to the side. So up onto fingertips, and then I'm going to transfer the hand across to here. Okay, now I'm up on the blocks. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to transfer weight to the right side, but now putting the left hand down into the gap. Same thing, keep this elbow on top of the hand, keep the shoulder on top as I push into this position. Now same again, load the left elbow in, shoulder in, don't raise the right shoulder too high, fingertips, palms, stack back into your 2-arm handstand, and then reverse it back in the opposite direction. Now this one will be a little bit harder because it's your weaker side, and you might want to actually do it separately because you might be gassed now after doing that first one. So I'm going to push weight over towards the left by flagging over to the left arm, left elbow in, left shoulder in as I climb up onto fingertip. Don't let that right shoulder come too high. Then I'm going to go across to the block, push up onto fingertips on this side while transferring weight onto this right side again, shoulder, elbow, hand all on top, fingertips, transfer across onto the blocks, over to the left side. Don't let that elbow go too far. Keeping the shoulder on top as well, come down to there. Same again, back to this position. Now we can make this harder by adding more blocks. So you're going to go in the bigger direction, or you could just try and go back and forth multiple times. To start with, it's going to be hard enough to literally just get from the floor. So this is where most of you will be at to start with. You'll be in this position and you're just going to try and get up onto the block like that. If you really struggle, start on the block and try and climb off, which will be easier than going up. Now that should be enough information for you to play with. The big one there, if you want to learn the one-arm handstand, is make sure you keep that elbow and shoulder in. So watch what happens to this left shoulder when I go into a one-arm handstand. I'm going to keep my right elbow, shoulder on top of that right hand as I flag across, go to fingertips. The left shoulder hasn't lifted. It still doesn't lift now, even when I'm in a one-arm handstand. I'll try and do it on my weaker side. See, it does the same thing, it's just not so good on that weaker side. But that shoulder is a big one. Don't let it come up. You're going to disappear over there. Super quick one today. Let me know how you go with this. Let me know if you have any questions regarding this or anything to do with the handstands or bodyweight strength. Thumbs up and subscribe will be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.